bread? Did your father never give you pocket money? Or
They bring up their
do you not
parents,
have
his parents.
Whether he was angry or not, the outcome couldn't be changed.
Oh
After
my
dealing with the
God,
bread,
that man
overweight
is
student, the
done.
next target on Degun's
He's
list was
done.
none other- Man Ho
Oh,
was very
shit.
surprised to learn that the new student dared to go all out right from the first day.
God, this guy looks strong,
What
man.
shocked him was childish games.
Oh my God.
Degun stood with his arms crossed, looking very cool.
Right. Designated bullied part 2. Let's do it. So we met some girl, right? In the previous reaction.
At that moment, Degun ran into Siam right on the street. As soon as the other person passed by, Degun suggested a conversation. However, since he didn't have much time, he wasn't particularly interested. Still,
Who is this
Siam
girl?
wasn't there just for
I think
a
this girl
casual
is
chat.
from
Degun
the
with
school,
an
right? To use violence against violence, bullies against bullies.
the Ilgin Control Project. On the other hand, when the opportunity arose, Degun seized the chance to return to high school and fulfill his dream of holding a press conference.
What?
Wanted to
Oh, so they're gonna use Degun.
even though he was nearly 20 years old this year. Standing in front of the school gate,
Going back to
Degun
school?
couldn't believe he was starting high school at the age of 20. Returning to the conversation between Degun and Siam, previously, Degun had been briefed by her about the Ilgin domination project that she wanted to implement.
Okay.
She had also provided more details about the plan. Indeed, just as the project's name suggested, Ilgin would dominate Ilgin and confirm with certainty that the project was entirely feasible after seeing Degun's abilities. However, Degun believed that Siam was doing foolish things under the guise of running the education system.
Yeah.
No one uses violence to control violence. Hearing this, Siam immediately retorted, "Of course, we've investigated your information, Mr. Degun." Degun wondered who she was. Without
Whoa.
hesitation, she bluntly
This
replied,
girl.
"You're more useless than anyone else, so stop trying to act tough. Even if you think this is unreasonable, I know you don't have the ability to refuse. This is
What is she know? What does she know?
Isn't this the opportunity to make up for all the mistakes of the past? This is
What,
your
in the
chance to
past
correct
he
the
beating
mistakes you
people?
made when you were younger.
Is that
If you
his
refuse,
his
you'll
his
have nothing
mistake?
left." Faced with the sharp arguments from the other side, Degun realized his situation, so even though Siam's project seemed rather ridiculous, he had no choice but to accept her offer.
Yo, what is your
Returning to
weakness,
reality,
man?
As a new transfer student, Degun quickly caught the attention of the girls at GM Ryon High School.
Whoa.
In Class 1-1, while the blonde-haired Jong Min was still enjoying the fun of bullying, the class leader of 1-1 was more interested in the new student.
He's
who had
scary,
transferred
this
in.
man.
Hearing about the transfer student, it just so happened that someone had recently left Class 1-1 because they had been bullied by the whole group.
Ah,
Jong
shit.
Min said, first,
That was
Jong
bullying,
Min
innit?
dropped out. Ho Jung said, next, I don't care about the reason, but that was some fucked up rotating game. Jong Min continued, why did she drop out? Isn't it because Park Gyu-rik Gyu-ri had taken off her underwear before?
You serious?
The girl next to him said, shut up, that was just an accident.
Okay.
John Ho teased, why are you asking about rotating the bread to do something else?
Rotating
You need
the
to be careful
bread.
so that guy can focus on buying bread for me. The teacher shouted from inside, hey, stop gathering and get inside. While the group was chatting animatedly about bullying some of the classmates, the transfer student arrived. Oh, the transfer student should be here now, right? Today, we have a new student. Go ahead and introduce yourself. The boy spoke up, I'm Kwon Degun, I'm from Incheon. Nice to meet you all.
Okay.
The girls in the class all blushed, with one even borrowing lipstick from a friend to do her makeup. The boys were equally surprised by Daegun's
Okay.
appearance.
So
Even Yu
he's
Ri, a
handsome.
member of the party group, was completely smitten by Daegun's looks and quickly did her makeup to make an impression on the new student.
Yo.
However, on the other hand, Ho Jung felt
Alright, so
extremely
he's
annoyed, as the
handsome.
new kid had appeared and stolen all the attention that used to be his.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Look at this man. It's like a middle age.
When he could teach the
Feel
new
your
student a
attention?
lesson. As for Degun, the teacher announced that a student had dropped out. so Degun would take that empty seat and quickly adapt to school life.
Ah, shit. They bullied him
Degun
until
quickly
they
got acquainted
drop out,
with his
man.
neighbor, Min-soo, who introduced him to the school they were attending. However, as soon as the old teacher left, Ho-jang, with a smirk on his face,
Ho-jang.
approached Daegun's seat. True to his
Look at
unruly
this,
nature,
man.
he quietly walked over and suddenly slammed Min-soo's head, demanding that he go somewhere else. Out of
Whoa.
nowhere, this fat guy came to disrupt the scene, and Degun had no idea what the hell the fat guy was doing.
The fat guy.
As for the overweight guy, he didn't immediately attack the new student. Instead, he ordered Min-soo to shut
But
up.
hey,
and
if he
replace
did,
the
he's gonna
sausage
get
bread.
punished, man.
The reason is
By the
very
man
simple.
himself.
He said,
Degun.
that old friend of yours used to be in charge of buying bread for me, but now he's dropped
Ah,
out of
he's
school
gonna
without
use
a
this
trace of
guy.
sincerity.
Instead
And now
now.
that parasite has run off, do you think you can escape?
Yeah.
Anyway, you should take responsibility for your friend.
Yo,
shouldn't you?
Kando, beat this guy up, man.
Right?
Not gun.
Now, you're
Degun.
officially in charge of buying bread
Beat
for
this
me.
guy up, man.
Congratulations. Meanwhile, on the side,
Congratulations?
Degun quietly observed, keeping
This
his
must be
promises
not,
to
man.
Siam. In contrast, with the authority of the class leader, Ho-jang pressured Min-soo to comply with his demands. Out of the blue, Min-soo was forced to comply.
Okay.
He was tempted to give in to avoid further conflict, but because he had a class right after the discussion, he tried to beg Ho-jang for mercy this time.
Ah, he's
On
not
the
gonna
other
let
side,
it.
Jang Min grinned like he had hit the jackpot when Min-soo mentioned the class time to him. For Ho-jang, every moment felt the same. So, in response to Min-soo's plea, Ho-jang ordered everyone to close their eyes so he could execute the punishment.
Oh,
In no
shit.
time, to Daegun's surprise, the entire group of fools in the class
Whoa.
obeyed Ho-jang's request and shut their eyes.
That guy is a jackass,
Immediately
man.
afterward, the class bully from 1-1 slapped Min-soo across the face without hesitation.
Okay,
for
now the
daring to
bullies
defy
start.
him. Standing by and observing, Degun truly wanted to teach the fat
Yo,
guy
come
a
on,
lesson
man.
he'd never forget. However, to ensure the confidentiality
Yeah, this has
of the
happened to him
project,
before
he had
too.
to adhere to the strange rules set by Siam.
Oh.
According to Siam's perspective, school was just a kingdom where animals, whether weak or strong, coexist. In that kingdom, an ordinary lion could never become the king of the monsters. Therefore, Siam required Degun not to be an ordinary lion. Back in the present, Degun was still
Ordinary
struggling
lion.
with the difficult terms of the contract with Siam, to the point where he had forgotten about the need to turn a blind eye as they had requested.
Yeah, I think he's gonna help him
To educate
out.
the new recruit, Ho-jang mentioned that Degun had just taken the position of the dropout who had been running errands. As a further jab, he suggested Degun go buy bread with Min-soo. Upon hearing this,
Oh,
Degun showed
shit.
irritation.
You shouldn't say that,
In his
man.
opinion, one person was enough to go buy bread. There was no reason for him to go along. Seeing Daegun's reaction, Ho-jang and his blonde-haired friend chuckled, thinking that Daegun was deliberately making a fuss to avoid going with Min-soo. However,
Uh-oh.
no matter how much they laughed, buying bread was not a request, it was an order. Therefore, the fat guy immediately snapped in a harsh tone, commanding Degun to stand up and go buy it right away.
Oh, shit.
Out of options,
Here
and
we
not
go.
wanting to make a big deal out of it, Degun reluctantly followed Ho-jang's advice and stood
Alright,
up to go
so
buy some bread.
he agreed to go then.
However, the first thing that came to his mind was, where's the money? Therefore, Degun extended his hand, asking them to give him some money so he could buy the bread. Having been the
Whoa.
big brother for so long, Ho-jang had never seen anyone daring enough to ask him for money, so he immediately
Yeah,
grabbed
that's what I'm
Degun by the
saying.
head and
But
shouted,
yo.
"Are you crazy? Don't point your finger at me like that." Of course,
Well,
I'll take
you
the
want him
money.
to buy your bread, right? So he asked for money. So, yeah, it's fair. But the
Do you think
bullies
I'm
has never
acting
done that,
hard?
man. They want the
Don't you
money.
have any money to buy bread? Did your father never give you pocket money? Or,
They bring up their
Do you not
parents,
have
his parents.
parents? His words unintentionally
Oh my
touched a
God.
deep, painful wound in Degun.
Mm-hmm.
The young Ho-jang immediately
Let's kick his
received a
ass, man.
bitter end for his stupidity and arrogant attitude. One punch made him dizzy, two punches left him bewitched.
Make him
and in the
dizzy,
blink
just
of
one
an eye,
punch?
Ho-jang had to bear the full brunt of Daegun's thunderous rage. Witnessing this
Alright,
scene,
let's
the
put
other
this man
students
down,
in
man.
The class were so stunned they almost fell over.
They all just
At that
started
moment,
open their eyes.
Degun no longer cared about the absurd rules in his contract with
Oh
Siam.
shit.
For
Fuck the
him,
rule.
a fist was the real
This
rule
man
in
just
the
said
school.
F the rule.
To assert his dominance and show everyone who the boss of the class really was, Degun lightly claimed his first victory, leaving Ho Jong, who had arrogantly declared himself the king of Class 1-1, speechless. Unbelievable. That was the thought running through Gyu Ri's mind, along with the rest of the mischievous students in the class. As for Jong Min, seeing his closest ally taken down in the blink of an eye left him utterly stunned and frustrated.
Okay, what are you gonna
However,
do then?
whether he was angry or not, the outcome couldn't be changed.
Oh
After
my
dealing with the
god,
threat,
that man
overweight
is
student, the next
done.
target on Daegun's
He's
list
done.
was none other than the cunning Jong Min. With Degun now focused on him, the blonde-haired student broke out in a cold sweat.
Yeah, you're
Nevertheless,
next, man.
He tried
You're
to
next.
maintain his composure, pretending that he wasn't fazed. But as Degun drew
He's
closer,
going for it.
Jong Min immediately launched
Okay.
himself into a preemptive attack, flailing wildly in hopes of landing a surprise blow. He threw punches and kicks, but unfortunately, none of them hit their mark. His scratching cat style of
Nah.
fighting was completely ineffective against Degun.
Yeah, I wanna see Degun training, man.
After effortlessly dodging all
I wanna
of his
see more of
strikes,
his training.
Degun's fist found its way straight into Jong Min's stomach.
Oh my god.
With a single punch, the blonde was bent over in agony, unable to stay on his feet. Before
Oh, my
Degun
man
could
said it.
follow
Please,
up,
please,
Jong Min,
please.
clutching his stomach
Stop
and
it.
bowing his head in defeat, shamefully acknowledged his loss.
Okay.
Unlike Jong Min, a boy near Ho Jong, who had more guts than brains, stubbornly continued to charge at the relentless author with unwavering resolve. He grabbed the chair, intending to smash his
Oh,
heart into
he's
Degun.
still up? I thought he's
But
down.
unfortunately,
What a
after this
count.
fight, his parents would probably have a hard time recognizing their beloved son.
Oh shit.
And everything ended right there. With a punch that landed like a bullet straight to the
Go!
face, Degun took down the fat guy in the quickest, most efficient way possible.
Oh my
After the
god,
fight,
look at that
Degun
punch.
relaxed a little, feeling his muscles ease up a bit. After all, everything was bound to unfold like this. The so-called Iljan were nothing more
Alright,
than this nothing
we
to worry
defeated the
about.
first class.
So, Degun no longer felt anxious about the project.
Now you're
Turning
going
back
to
toward
buy
the
me
bullies,
bread
Degun
instead, man.
grabbed the fat guy's hair and asked with a mocking tone, "The bread at the snack bar is really good, huh?" The fat guy, confused, asked back, "What do you mean?" Degun replied, his gaze cold, "I'm curious. How good is it that it made..."
I just said it in the moment. I just said it out of the blue, man. Just now you said the bread is good, right? So now go buy it for me now. you want the bread that much? So now you go buy a bread for me.
Did you create this
Instead.
whole mess? Get me some. Then, as if it
Yo.
were an order, Degun commanded the fat guy to go get some bread.
No, you have to tell
However,
that
Ho
blonde
Jong
hair
didn't
too,
think
man.
He had to follow Daegun's words. Even though he had been defeated, he still couldn't accept it, as he wasn't.
Alright, you better do what he
Class 1-1.
said, man.
Ho Jong, frustrated, threw out a challenge, "You bastard. You think taking down the two of us means you can control everything?" Daegun was confused, not understanding what this idiot was saying. He said, "I'm not the leader of this class. He'll be back
There's someone
soon.
else?
You're as good as dead, you bastard." After a noisy commotion, the main character finally appeared. It was no Manho, the leader of the rough group known for fighting in Class
Manho.
1-1, and also the one backing up the
The
fat guy.
leader. Okay.
When their gazes met,
he looks
the
fine.
atmosphere became tense, signaling that something
doesn't
big
look
was about to
all-eyed.
happen. On the very first day at a new school, blood had already been spilled. Things were definitely not going to be peaceful. Manho
Oh,
was very
shit.
surprised to learn that the new student dared to go all out right from the first day.
God, this guy looks strong,
What
man.
shocked him even more was that Degun had single-handedly taken out his two buddies, Jong Min and Ho Jong. Even more remarkable was that there wasn't a single scratch on Degun, leaving Manho puzzled as to how his two friends had managed to not even land a hit on him.
Another fun coming up.
With his top-tier windmill speech skills, Manho quickly shifted the attention and rescued his two companions.
Okay, he's gonna
Although they
rescue
narrowly
him.
escaped,
He's
both
gonna
Ho Jong and
rescue
Jong
them.
Min were unsure if Manho could actually take down Degun. As
Unsure?
for Manho, he
Even
continued
his
to
buddy said, "No, I'm not sure if you can take him down too, man. I'm not sure." Even his man. Oh my god.
showcase his talent for blowing hot air. He loudly asked the remaining noisy group if anyone dared to step up and face Degun in a one-on-one. As for Manho, he had no intention of going all out against Degun. However,
Oh,
despite
this guy's
what he
scared
said,
too.
Degun could tell from what he observed that Man-ho was silently preparing.
Mm.
Man-ho's legs were spread wide, his center of gravity lowered, and his toes were pointed toward Degun. His shoulders were relaxed, ready to
Oh,
strike at
he's
any
planning
moment.
to strike him while distracting others.
On the surface, Man-ho appeared calm, but with a keen eye, Degun easily recognized that his opponent was in a defensive stance, the kind
Yeah.
seen in
Woo!
kickboxing.
This guy's must be.
Reading Man-ho was
Kickboxing.
like reading an open book. Degun was sure that if he let his guard down for even a second, his opponent would immediately attack, possibly throwing a
He's
punch at
just
him
trying
right
to
away.
distract him.
Beside them, Ho-jung watched everything unfold. He thought, if Degun didn't know about Man-ho beforehand, he would definitely hit the escape button right now.
Nah,
Man-ho was on a
he's
whole
not going
different
to,
level
man.
compared to me and Jong-min.
He just defeat a whole
While the
school
intense scene was playing
in
out,
just 1 week,
the
man.
fat guy ordered one of the classmates to go get some popcorn to enjoy the show.
Yeah,
However,
go get
Ho-jung's
some.
command
I
was
want to
quickly
see this.
rejected, as he had lost his boss status in Class 1-1. Thinking about that made him frustrated. Before he could utter any threats, Ho-jung's gaze unexpectedly met Dae-gun's cold, piercing stare. In that instant, he immediately switched to obedience.
Don't lose your focus, Degun.
Not
It's
daring
coming.
to cause any further trouble for his classmate. Seeing the group of hooligans no longer showing any fear towards the fat man, Man-ho was somewhat surprised.
Mm-hmm.
However, he maintained his calm demeanor as he introduced himself to Degun. In response, Kwon Degun also stated his name, showing respect for his opponent.
Okay. Wow,
Seizing
it's
the
greeting.
opportunity, Man-ho suddenly struck by thrusting his fingers directly towards Dae-gun's face. However, this surprise attack was merely a trick to distract his opponent. In reality, the deadly move Man-ho had aimed for was the kick from below.
Alright.
Dae-gun quickly realized that his opponent was targeting his lower
So
body.
they can experience all this
Understood the
before.
lethal danger of this type of attack. It was a vicious move, often aimed at the sensitive area between the opponent's legs, causing the victim to suffer
Oh my
excruciating
God.
pain, losing the ability
To the
to
ball?
fight,
That's
and
crazy,
feeling like
man.
they were
Must
living
be
in
nuts.
agony.
But I
This
feel
kind
that
of attack
before.
was considered dirty and was often condemned by others.
I felt that before, man.
Nevertheless, Dae-gun never expected that Man-ho would dare to use such a despicable and shameless
Yeah.
move.
You're the
In a
leader, man.
moment
Why are
of
you
surprise,
using this kind of
Dae-gun's
move?
body instinctively reacted with the natural defense of a man, and he moved his hands down to protect his sensitive area. But this very action became an opportunity for Man-ho to launch another deadly strike, and Dae-gun was hit. Seizing the
Yes.
opportunity when Dae-gun's hands were busy protecting his crown jewels, Man-ho didn't miss the chance to deliver a powerful punch to
Whoa!
Dae-gun's face.
Manho!
However,
This guy's
with
supposed
his
to be crazy,
exceptional
man.
reflexes, Dae-gun managed to dodge in time, minimizing
Okay,
most of the damage
Jesus,
from his
man,
opponent's
you are-
strike.
You're
Besides
confusing me,
Two
Degun.
dim-witted boys, one chubby, one skinny, couldn't hide their excitement at their friend's attack. Nevertheless, even though everyone in the class was accustomed to Man-ho's techniques, they still believed that Dae-gun would have a hard time fending off the blow. At
Nah.
first glance, it
He's
seemed like
dodged it,
Man-ho
man.
had the upper hand, but in reality, he was struggling against Dae-gun's combination of
Oh.
offensive moves and clever distractions. Unable to
He's
maintain his
struggling.
balance for long, Man-ho was caught off guard with a sweep to his leg, losing his footing and falling instantly. Seizing the moment, Dae-gun swiftly grabbed the collar of Man-ho's shirt and hurled him into the corner of the wall as if he were tossing a toy. Despite the clear advantage Dae-gun had in the fight, the cunning and underhanded tactics of Man-ho still made him cautious. Especially with the confident look in his opponent's eyes as he observed from the sidelines.
Gotcha, bitch!
Dae-gun
Okay,
remained on
okay.
high alert. When Jong-min, Man-ho's ally, saw his friend's ultimate move effortlessly neutralized, he began to worry about their side's chances of winning. In contrast to
Nah, you're
Jong-min,
losing
the
this
chubby
much,
guy
man.
believed that Man-ho still hadn't shown his full strength.
That's my
After being
assumption.
tormented by a group of 5 or 6, he had taken up kickboxing, so now no one knew who would outfight whom. Returning to the match, just as Man-ho had hoped, after the scrap paper incident that had nearly scared Dae-gun out of his wits, the two continued into the second round. As usual, with his cunning, the red-haired youth took the initiative and launched a surprise attack. When he threw a metal object at Dae-gun's face, Dae-gun instinctively dodged the throw.
Okay.
But in doing so, he created a large opening that Man-ho was quick to exploit. However, with his experience and composure, Dae-gun had no trouble avoiding the red-haired youth's punches.
Yeah.
After repeatedly missing his target, Man-ho began to show signs of impatience.
I'm not surprised that Degun able to do this. I'm not surprised. Because He's taking care of whole school in 1 week. These guys must be nuts. I think he can just handle these guys easily, man. Even though he's a kickboxer.
Yet, he was still quite crafty as he pretended to look behind and told his teammates not to interfere with his solo fight. Hearing this, Degun thought there might be a few more people preparing to pull a sneak attack
because you're gonna
behind.
get beat up.
But when he turned around, all he saw was a clueless four-eyed kid standing there, watching with a suspicious look. Looking at the kid's face, Degun felt something was off. And sure enough, something wasn't right. Before taking the second punch, Degun had already managed to recognize the attack and countered it. At a glance, Degun realized that his opponent was actually very weak.
Oh shit, very weak.
But child's play to Degun.
Whoa!
Although tolerable for a time or two, if it kept going like this, Degun wouldn't take it well. To prevent his opponent from continuing the farce, Degun had no choice but to get serious and give Manho a punch to the face, full of affection. He had expected his opponent to be stronger, but after all the flailing around without landing a single hit, Manho was taken
he's
down
not
by
weak, man. I think he's strong, but you're just that strong, man, Degun.
Just one punch and immediately collapsed. Degun couldn't understand how Manho could be so weak. Meanwhile, the fat guy Ho Jong, the blonde Zhang Min, and the rest of the students in the class were all utterly surprised by Dagun's quick takedown of Manho. A light tap to the cheek and he was out cold. Degun had no choice but to ask Manho's two lackeys to wake him up and take him to the infirmary to rest. After that, the three of them would have to come see Degun again for a talk.
Oh shit, you're gonna become my chore boy, guys.
When Saan walked by, she witnessed the whole scene and thought to herself, on the first day, Degun is already attracting this much attention.
Oh shit, what's gonna happen? He's disobeyed the rule.
But because of him, we had to hold several meetings today.
Ah shit.
I really have high expectations for him.
Okay.
Could this be the end of all the bullying for good? A female student recognized Siam as the head of the planning department of the organization and wondered what she was doing there. Back to Degun, he was standing up to teach the bullies a psychological lesson. School is a place to learn.
Psychological lesson.
So stop playing those childish games.
Oh my god.
Degun stood with his arms crossed, looking very cool, sternly warning the immature kids. However, they stubbornly argued back, who's bullying anyone these days? We're just taking care of them. Degun immediately warned them, either be my friend and listen to me, or die by my hand.
you be my friend or you be my chore boy.
The blonde-haired boy immediately backed down, obediently choosing the first option to be friends with Degun.
Yeah, be friend better than
he was still disgruntled
than chore boy, man.
Cursed Degun. As for the chubby guy, when Degun suggested that he give up the habit of picking on others, Ho Jong reluctantly agreed, though a conflicted
he's gonna do it again, man.
Face.
You gotta beat this guy.
However, knowing that if he retaliated, he would be immediately punished, he had no choice but to obediently follow the advice.
Okay.
After dealing with the troublemakers, Degun announced
this is starting to get fun, man.
And his gang dare to bully or disturb anyone in this class again, I will crush this trio and transform them into entirely new people. So, everyone can relax and focus on your studies. From that moment on, with the presence of the war god Degun, the atmosphere in the class noticeably shifted.
Yo.
Although Mint still felt a little intimidated.
Alright. That was good, man. That was good. So, Degun finally get his first class to obey him. Beat the leader, beat the leader's right and left hand man. And now they have two options, either being his friend or being the chore boy. But they choose to be friends. That's a good option, man. At least this man this nice to tell you to be his friend. Yeah. But yo, finally. So he finally back to school at the age of 20. And well, we'll see next. What next? I just hope he's gonna conquer the school, because there's probably more of bullies. I don't know, man. But the reasons they call him, that ladies call him, that's because there's so much bully in this school. And they are probably happening in other classes too. We'll see, man, we'll see. Right guys, thank you so much for coming in. If you enjoyed the reaction, please consider like, subscribe if you want to see more of this. And I will see you in the next one. Part 3 of Designated Bully, guys. Have a good day, good night, and I will see you then. Bye.